Hello everyone, how are you today? Um, I'm your solution consultant today. We have met last time. We talked about your business nature, and I also introduced some about Netsuite. Um, Today I will introduce you more details about Netsuite. So I set up a company as a Netsuite account in which I um, created some business roles and some customers, vendors, items, and I will do the demonstration of some business flows to you for your better understanding of this business solution. Okay. This is the agenda of today. And at first, I will talk something about my understanding according to our last discussion about your business goals, your company, the challenges your company are facing. And I designed some business flows, and I will follow the business flows to do some demonstrations on Netsuite. And I will explain to you guys about why I recommend you to choose Netsuite One World package. And at last, I will conclude the how Netsuite can help your business in the long run. At first, as I understand your business is a fast-growing technology company which manufactures and distributes electronics, and which in sales and purchase function, maybe the recent ERP solutions you are using now are not real time, are not doing real time business, which will cost a lot of, which will waste a lot of time on communication, and in which many mistakes will happen. Um, and maybe the current situation include with weak data control, like maybe for some customer vendor data, there are only single phone number, email, etc. And there is maybe it's not that easy for you to maintain the marketing or promotion data time to time, or um, contact with the vendor, the leads, the vendors, the customers are not that sufficient. Um, and like about the inventory, maybe the recent solution doesn't have a, a very good inventory management. So don't worry. Netsuite has a strong inventory management system for you to manage everything as a whole, as a business circle. Like a salesperson can create a quote, and after one click, the person to create sales order can find this quote and just do the things following. It's very sufficient for time saving, resources saving, etc. And about the financial and accounting part, maybe in the past you need half a month to do the period closing, which may be a lot of duplicate human tracking work, a lot of paperwork, which really costs a lot of time to do it. Not to say about the complicated financial report, which may cost a lot of more time. But Netsuite has a auto accounting setting for many modules. It's just like maybe in the past, a lot of manual work need to do along with the purchase order, the sales order. But now, it, once authorized person has set the account mapping or some accounting rules, accounting ratios, it will be automatically done in the system, like along with every time the users made a complete document. It's very sufficient. And about the financial report, there are many um, predefined, or you can customize the financial report as you want. About the business goals, FENC is a very fast-growing technology company, which will be very happy to open a new office in Asia, to open Asian markets, as well as a growing rate of 25%. So don't worry. By using Netsuite, your company will be capable of holding such working load um, and for bigger markets and for more business partners, for more items, and everything big every business flow will be so lightweight and highly efficient. So I'll I'll spend some time to introduce about the business role in NetSuite. The business role in NetSuite is so special that maybe in a traditional ERP solution, every user has an account that need to customize the settings one by one, which will be very time consuming. Not to say that in normal cases, many users are holding different business roles. Like maybe one person is a salesperson, but he also is authorized as an inventory executive. So in NetSuite, different business functions is divided as a business role, like customers, like sales rep, uh, like merchandise manager. They're separated with different functions. So as a user, as an employee, maybe can be assigned with different roles and different functions, and is more sufficient to separate by person and by business functions. They are separate but closely connected. Um, I created some visual flows for you. Like at first is the procurement process. Like once at first, maybe there's a requisition, like a purchase request. An employee just create a purchase request, and one person who is authorized to the approver can review it, can deny or approve it. Once this requisition is approved, which it comes to the procure, it will become a PO, a purchase order. Um, After the purchase order is created, maybe the vendor will also receive the PO, and after that, they will send the goods. So once the goods are delivered, the receipt, the PO can be received, and after the bill is this order is fully received, um, you can do the payment. Like it's very easy. About the purchasing part, you mentioned that your purchasing process need to be streamlined with approvals. Yeah, which is very important to do the purchase request, and is only permitted to become a PO once it's approved, right? So let's come to Netsuite, to the account that I created for a company. Now this is the Netsuite company, and at first I'm a employee that not permitted to create a purchase order directly. So at first I will create a requisition. Yeah, a requisition in Netsuite is just a purchase request. Um, um, like I will, this will automatically apply to my name as a requester, and I can choose the company name, receive date. Maybe I want to receive these goods at next Monday, and the department I belong to, like procurement, like the memo, urgent, need before next Monday. Like now in the items, I can enter the items that I want. Like I can choose from list, or I can just enter it. Maybe I need 20 iPhone, and I can input the vendor or not. I can input items as much as I want, and I mark the quantity and the quoted price, like estimated rate. Maybe in the purchase request process, I may not discuss the price with the vendor, but maybe I know the range, like this. So this is estimated rate. So after I entered all the items that I want, I can save it. As this requisition is confirmed, is added to the system. After that, it's the approver who is authorized with the right to review and to approve or reject this requisition. So I will change the role to a approver. Here we comes the UI of the purchasing and inventory manager. So here is the dashboard can be customized as you want, personally needed. This function we can see is requisition to approve. In here we can easily find the requisition to approve, and the approval status is pending approval. So as I'm an approver now, I can easily see there these three are not seen in that row, that former row that I logged in, because I'm an approver, so I can change the approval status, but the requester cannot. So in here I can change this approval status to rejected or approved. So if I think this price is reasonable, or the quantity is really is also reasonable, I can change it to approved and click save. Yeah, once it's saved, this create purchase order just arrives. I can create a purchase order directly based on this requisition. Okay, so these items and quantities just automatically copy to this order, and I can oh, this is purchase contract. I will explain it to you guys later. I can choose vendor by items, like I can separate vendors. Like maybe I want to buy the Samsung Galaxy from Samsung, and the iPhone X from another vendor like home technology is is also oh is also capable a lot to changing the quantity, the order rate. Maybe the rate have been lower. Like it's okay, just take all and submit. Okay, once these two orders have been submitted. Okay, it's oh this this function can help you to create multiple purchase order in one time, which is very capable of. After this are created, after that I can just maybe after a week, as an inventory manager, I receive these goods that I ordered. So I can easily find in the purchase order list, like in the navigation field, like yeah, the purchase order. I the purchase orders that I created just now is yeah, this one's pending receipt. If I want to receive it, it's urgent before next Monday. I can turn the purchase orders into a receipt. Okay, save it first if I don't want to change it. And if I choose to view, there is a button to turn the purchase order into a receipt. So location, yeah, maybe the last time I didn't choose location for this purchase order, which is um, refusing for the purchase order. How about the location? I created two locations, FENC Chicago and FENC Asia, and under both ones there are two locations of warehouses. Like FENC Chicago is the American head office, which also contains another warehouse in New York, and FENC Asia, which includes a Singapore warehouse. So once I added the location to the purchase order is finally confirmed and the status become approved by supervisor and pending receipt. As also this role include inventory manager, I can do the receipt of these goods, and once I click receipt, all the information is copied to an item receipt document, and if it's partially receipt, I can enter the quantity that I actually received and click save. Okay, after this item receipt is successfully added to system, you can see the status also changed. Like, okay, I'll come back to the list. The inventory system is very easy to use in Netsuite. Okay, this is all the items I received. If I come back to the dashboard, I can, if I want to do the following things like turn the purchase order after I receive the goods, I can turn I can bill the customer. I can bill the vendor. Okay. So um, the only thing I need to is to take the bill that I want to I want to take the purchase order that I want to bill, or go to purchase order to click bill to do them one by one, or you can just select all here and submit. You can bill them all at a time. And I want to go back to here to talk about the purchase contract that I just mentioned. Um, the purchase contract is always used um, when your company is holding business relationship with one company in a very long time, like just like a kind of um blanket, just like a kind of agreement. Oh no, just try it. New transaction, like you can give a number to it and choose a vendor, like maybe LG, and this is a reference number. This is the contract date, the location, which is capable of whatever. Maybe choose Singapore, or New York, like effective day based on order date. The start date of this contract may be 1, or end date like maybe December 31st, and which one is in charge of this contract. Maybe I'll choose Raymond Chen, this role myself. The minimum amount of the quantity, the maximum amount, and okay, you can also choose the department, the class, the permit number, etc. And then into the item, I'll choose the iPhone, like I can set the base rate. Once I set the base rate here, and I can, as a merchandiser, I can after I create this contract, I can create a purchase order based on this purchase contract by autofill. I'll create it first, and then you can know. The location, additional pricing, choose subsidiary. Also choose this company name, and another item like I'll choose this mobile model, and the base rate maybe even lower if I buy over this amount. So after I decided all of this, I think I can also define the materials. It's very similar to what you saw in purchase order, because it's capable. It's like a template. It's a purchase order template for you to create a purchase order in one click. You know, if you do business with some company that you always create a purchase order very similarly, you can use the purchase contract um, to do the operation, which is faster. And after I create this purchase contract with this vendor LG, after I create a purchase order, I can choose from the contract like, yeah, yeah. I can maybe I'll choose the vendor first. LG. This is a button called autofill. Wait for a minute. Oh, sorry. This is the expense account. After I choose autofill, the item will autofill in, and the rate, the cost, the amount will automatically roll in. So after that, I can save. Oh, this is just the amount it cost that I entered last time for this vendor. This is also that. And because of this is not a purchase order based on requisition, so the status will become a pending supervisor approval. And okay, this is one part of purchasing. And about the purchasing, you also mentioned about maybe you're always looking at take advantage of favorable AP terms to get additional discount. For additional discount from vendor, maybe is easily maintained by setting in vendor master data. This this field is called global search. In this part, you can search just everything in Netsuite. Maybe a function name, or a file name, or a document name, or a document number, just everything. So if I want to enter vendor, I can use global search, or just I can enter the vendor list by clicking the list. Okay. If I want to change some settings with vendors to set the AP terms, just in vendor master data, their relationship, communication, like address, financial, like if you do business with one customer or vendor in different currencies, you can set up here. It's very easy. And the pricing schedules, like you can just set out quantity pricing schedule, like it's like if you buy over 100, let's say 100 pieces of iPhones from this vendor, there may be a base discount you can set up here, and the unit type, the item unit you need to choose. And once you create a purchase order fit this quantity, like I will do to it, and basic discount maybe 5%, and each and once is 55%. That means if you buy over 15 pieces, there will be a base discount of 5. No, there maybe higher. There will be 7. The basic discounts means over 1 pieces. The discounts will be effective. And maybe over 100, there will be 10%. etc. Say there are another occasions when it's not that easy. Maybe you just want to set up, you don't want to apply the discounts, the terms to every items you transact with this vendor. So here comes the items. Just import the price list you predefined or use this customized view to just set up by item to some special item, for example, to set just in this master data. This vendor master data includes a very detailed and functional settings just related to this vendor. And raise, maybe when you transact with some company with different rates and you don't want to change it every time, or instead you just want to set an average exchange rate, you can set it here. It will be auto applied every time you transact, you make documents with this vendor. So after you set up everything, we can check up, we can check the reports. There are very many predefined reports, like let's use reports of open purchase orders. Like in this report, we can see on today, on or before today, there are many open purchase orders that we have not received. So if you want to know the amount and which vendor from and the purchase order number, you can check right here. Like this 13522. If you want to check all the details, just use global search and you can access it once. Or 13523. Okay, you can just click and voila, this is the purchase order. So if you receive one and you don't know how to find it, just use global search. You can search everything. So let's come back to the visual flows again. See, not whatever the procurement process or the sales or the all the sales and purchase process in Netsuite are streamlined and standardized as as your company needs. Like I'll show you some of the marketing process that like lead to quote and order to cash. But I actually showed it on our last demonstration, so I'll just show some details that I did not show. And as you already know about lead to cash and sales to bill. Okay. Now I log in as a sales VP. In this part, I can just create new tasks and set up the due date to remind myself of the task. And here's the phone calls. And in this part, I can set up KPIs of like opportunities, pro sales, or the rates. I can set up as I want. The quote to cash and the order to bill is what we have mentioned. This time I want to introduce more about customers management. It's very similar to vendor. Like in customer, you can also set up everything like as a set of email, phone address. What you enter here is the name, but in the content, you can also input many other content and the company detail like the communication, the addresses, the sales. In the sales part, you can easily see the transactions between these customers. Like this is like the customer ledger. You can see every transaction, every document that happened between this and the currency and the month and the date once they're overdue like that. And in the marketing part, it's easy for a company to maintain the promotions between customers. Like if you want to do a promotion, you can create a campaign, like you can subscriptions, keywords, like all kinds of campaigns, promotion campaigns you want to do. Also online forms, like this item orders is the person order the item details of your orders, which in the former part of the transaction is like the order level, and in this is the item level. Um, like the marketing part is mainly to record the complaint feedbacks of this customer. The support part is mainly about the customer service. That is the customer relationship feedback. Like when if there are new cases that customer service receive from this customer, it will it will reflect in the master data too. You can just review the cases that the customer has arised, and the financial also, the banking, the currencies, the credit cards like that. And the suite confirm the suite commerce extensions allows you to import new product lists for this customer. Maybe every customer holds a different product list, like the similar to the vendor special price list. You can just maintain the special price list in the custom master data. And the bank payment details like credit and debit are divided into different parts. And rebate transactions. Okay. Once you have finished the setup of like the price, like the customer service, like adding a new address, you can add as much address as you want here. But you have to choose a default shipping and billing address, a main address for this customer, of course. So after you have finished all the settings, just save these customers and you can modify it as much as you want. This filter of customer list is also very easy to use. Like you can just search by phone number, like email, city, etc., or this is a company or an individual. That's for you to select when you create a new lead or a new customer. There are several steps of lead, prospect, customer in Netsuite. That is, the lead just means you don't have a transaction with this company or person. So even not discuss about it. So this is a lead. For a lead, you may create a quote of opportunity first. In an opportunity, you just um, define a company or a person and input items and input forecast type. Like with these types are along with different probability, like if it's the most likely, then maybe the percent will become 80%. And like you add an item like file AYEC. Oh, about the inventory system, you can see no no matter you are creating opportunity, a purchase order, or a sales order, the available quantity of your selected location will be like real-time control. But the quantity will only be deducted once it's received or once it's fulfilled. That is not determined by sales order or procurement order. So in here, because it's a lead, so you may not have a price list. So this price you can estimate it as estimated price, and quantity maybe 10. Okay, after you add this, okay, I didn't choose a company. Maybe this individual I just created not long ago. So is the status become in progress? So in this stage, the lead becomes a prospect. A prospect means you discussed with this when is most likely to become when this lead is likely to become a customer. The stage in between is called a prospect in Netsuite. So after the order can be done, you can just open the quote, open the quantity, open the quote, copy to sales order and add it to the system. This prospect will become a customer and the status will change. To continue on discuss about the inventory management of Netsuite, I'll switch my role to warehouse manager. You may concern about how to set up the item price list. When it's specific for some items, when maybe it's a logic to maybe you buy over 10, then is a specific discount, but maybe you rise it up to 50 is another discount. So how can I set up it? When it's applied for all vendors, I can set up in item master data here, which is the pricing. In the pricing, I can, as you can see, there are minimum quantity of items bought or sold, like maybe 3 is minimum. It can be set up with pricing schedule, like when you set up the quantity, like is 5. When it's 5, is the list price is 500, for example. Then when it's over 15, then it will be 200, that will automatically assign to all this kind of discounts. Okay, they can also set more, like it's very easy for you. Just set different base price when the quantity changes. When it's all set, just okay. Maybe the base price is okay. When it's all done, the special price, the special base price for item is done. About the demand planning, I like also show you about how to set up the demand plan for specific customers. No, for specific items. Sorry. Um, Active demand plan. Okay, this is the demand plan that are available in the system. You can also create a new demand plan. If I want to create a new demand plan, I can select this calculate item demand plans. Like select this company name and the effective location and the projection method, like maybe an average interval, maybe monthly. Project duration, maybe this plan is for 6 months. And the historical analysis duration for you is because the amount you on the demand plan is based on a time period of your procurement of all the procurement transactions. So this is the amount of how much time you want analysis based on. Like if I want to based on the past year, I will choose 12 and select an item like a transact item that I have chosen before. I can submit. After submit, after define the demand plans for the item, user can view it in a demand plan list, and the once you view as the demand plan is in process or completed, it will automatically be be created, like the purchase order will be automatically created according to the price and the quantity you predefined. About the sales and purchase, there are also another point that I want to add, like the marketing automation. As a sales rep, I can define sales rule. A sales rule, sorry, I'll switch it to a controller. And as a controller, I can define a sales role, like I can define a sales role by a field. Like when a group sales is in process, like when a, a batch of customers of one state of the same area need to be contacted with the same sales rep, then you can set up the role first. Like I created it with, I can create it with a phone number prefix or a billing address prefix or just country, currency, state, and so on. I can, this time I can define it as state. Then this role can mean Singapore. But yeah, then any of this. Okay. I'll choose like the Asia city, another Asia city, Beijing. So after I save this role, I can define a sales territory. It's like a sales team. Sales territory list, like it's separated into so many different territories. If I enter into one group, I can define different, I can configure different role, customer role here. Like I can choose any role I create, like the date times role. Basically, the rule I create will be seen here. Maybe because just the rule I just created, I need more time. Oh, here, sorry. It's Singapore. Yeah, it's this rule. Then after I add this to this territory, once there are the any document like sales order and the address state is equal, or I just select any of and I select Beijing. It's like when a sales rep create a sales order and the customer address of the state is including Beijing, then this sales order will directly connect it to the sales territory. Like you can define the territory members, the sales team in here, and is if I input George Law at the first, then it will be the most highest priority to directly to this person. Yeah. So after I enter the roles and which sales reps that I want to assign to, then this kind of marketing automation can be done. So, so um, this is the sales, and this is sales and purchase the marketing process that I want to add in detail. And I also want to mention something about financial. Yeah, about the financial, you mentioned that you always do the period close, like take too long, and the manual consolidation of financial reports also takes so long time. And so I'll show you some of the financial reports in the suite. You can customize your own report based on the predefined reports. So many reports that already have in this like with so many functions, not only just accounting, but order management, tax, like all of this. Oh, you also mentioned about the back order report. It's not that easy for you to look back to the back order report if you like in some ERP solutions. Maybe it's difficult for you to open back order because the period is closed. So it's so easy for you to look at the back order report. Right. I will change as an administrator and the back order report can be seen. Like this is the back order report, and you can change the date. You can change the service story. Like if you want to see the consolidated report that contains a lot of different offices and warehouses, you can change it here. This time I'll choose headquarter consolidated. Then I can check the backdate orders as I want. Okay, expand or just see the detail of everything. Hi, I'd also like to introduce you about the chart of the accounts of Netsuite. The chart of accounts is a little similar to the customer, vendor, and item settings, and you can, reset, save as you like, and the workflow is even connected to the workflow, like which document just triggers this account mapping or any transactions connected to this account, or if this is a bank account, what is the balance of this account. Also, you can check the reports of the account, like the account reports, like the TB, the trial balance of all the accounts, or the income statement, and so on. There are so many preset um, financial reports, and you can also choose every report, like say this report. You can select new report or customize report. If you want to see how many reports there are, just choose Report Overview and search here, or create new report here. There are so many samples for you to use of different business modules. Okay. About the bank reconciliation, I think I have mentioned it in former session and I have demonstrated. If you like to, I will demonstrate it to you later. So about more financial operations, I will leave it to it. And about the support cases, yeah, the customer service I know, which is a very crucial part for you to maintain. For customer service role, it's easy for a customer service to arise a new case. When there is an item that a customer claims to change or claims a client to be destroyed. So you can choose a type like inquiry, exchange or returns, like I choose exchange or returns. Case issue like billing question, product service, product issue. Subject, pay product issue from ABC. Aside to which employee, why maybe this time I will choose Raymond. Or choose red. Okay, it's the same. Close reason. Oh, this is for you to close and choose reason. Like interactions, what you can record the messages of your interactions with customer. Just like the custom service history, you can input a lot of free text here and like insert if there is a solution comes out from a technician, like you can input the solution if there is any. The time tracking which employee have contact by phone or email, like if there are any attached file, escalations, related records along with this customer, or is there any sales associated in between. Like if this case is confirmed, you can say, oh, I didn't select an item for it. I can maybe the same so that's it. Values for customers, subsidiary. Customer, yeah, I didn't choose customer. Why? It's automatically generated the subsidiary, the company name. Actually, now the company structure I create is a little like a headquarter, and then is the Chicago office. Under Chicago office there is New York warehouse, and there's another office for Asia under headquarters. Yeah, and under FEMC Asia there is another warehouse in Singapore. That's it. After I confirm this case, I can track this case in this customer data, like live transaction communication. activity file using news system. Like I can, wow. The cases part is just as that, is in the support. So this, alright, this just the case I created product issue from ABC. Okay, it can be easily tracked in this customer. In Netsuite, all the customer item, everything is data. Just like I said, all the items, inventory, like the customer, the employee, or the item price, they're all connected tightly together, and you can easily track in just by any bit of this. So it's very easy to use for everyone. So after the financial part, the the sport cases, I have mostly finished my demonstration. And next, I will explain why I recommended you to use Netsuite One World. For Netsuite products is Netsuite One World is there are two benefits of it. Like most of all, if for you, you want to expand your Asian market, which you want to create a new office in Singapore. Like yeah, so there is a lot of oh 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 most likely that you will do transaction in another currency. So for Netsuite One World, you can create different subsidiaries with different currencies, which include intercom transactions. Or intercom transactions can be included in today's session too. So in One World, the currency is a very sufficient way for a company that use more than two currencies, more than one currencies, like to easily do their the company business as a whole. So another important sector is the consolidated report. I'll show you the consolidated report like I did, like if there is a company that with different currencies and different regions is it's very um it's very hard in traditional ways to create a consolidated report. Maybe you need a huge amount of human resources and time, a lot of time cost to do a consolidated report. But in Netsuite One World, you can easily get it consolidated report. Just like if you open any one of these reports or saved report, like chart of accounts, aviation, which one to choose? I'll say income statement. So if I choose a headquarter, like a headquarter with consolidated here, I can review this consolidated report within this date period. Also, I can choose the column to customize this report to turn this financial report into many different formats. So for many reports, For most of these reports, or every report is very capable for a company like you to maintain the financial report. It's very easy and is real time. It's so easy to use because once you finish your setup, you can run it every in a very short time, and it's very specific. It's very accurate. So the currency and the consolidated report is two most important reasons that I recommended you to use Netsuite. And so welcome Netsuite. So what can Netsuite brings to your company after you see the demonstration? Have you be more looking forward to using it as your ERP solution? So what it can brings you that is aggregate business circle, like the streamlined sales, purchase, and finance part will bring you a real-time, a structured business flow with high speed, with high proficiency, and save a lot of costs on duplicate work. So just say goodbye to those papers. The second part that Netsuite is it's so easy, it's so good to use that is it turns every source into data. You can you can actually turn your every bit of resource into computer, into this cloud solution. You don't even need to buy a server. Just it's on the cloud and you just need to open your browser and access it. That's all. You don't need too much space, you don't need um too much effort, and it's all on the cloud. Okay, the second part I think is really help a lot, that is the systematic financial accounting. I'm sorry that I only showed some report and like the consolidated, like income statement, the trial balance. But as you can see, on the reports there are a long list, and is like NetSuite is a solution that over 10 years and consolidated with many different um, many different business natures, like many accounting standards. It's no There is no way to worry about that this financial structure is not fit for business. Just use NetSuite and just save a lot of effort on every user of you. And I really hope this solution will help you a lot in the long run with your business growing. NetSuite is also a growing solution too, as a young, a cloud solution that is always on the way. So thank you for today. Thank you for today. If you want to listen to more about the demonstration flows, just ask me questions and I will answer as much as possible. And as for the following pricing, we can hold another meeting to discuss it all. So thank you everyone. Bye.